Okay, so my name is Jason Clay. I'm a public information officer for CAL FIRE. And today we're going to give you a little briefing on the Oakdale incident and what's transpiring. So we are going to have Curtis Lawrence, the fire chief for the Esparto Fire Protection District, come up here and give you that update. And then following that, we will go through questions. And then for spelling for your editors back there, it's C-U-R-T-I-S, Curtis, and then Lawrence, L-A-W-R-E-N-C-E. And again, he's the fire chief for the Esparto Fire Protection District.
All right, afternoon, everybody. Again, Curtis Lawrence, fire chief here, Esparto Fire Protection District, jurisdiction having authority here. First off, I want to say I appreciate all of your guys' patience. I know you have been waiting for information, and we apologize it's taken some time. But as you know, this is obviously an ongoing, extensive investigation, so we're going to do what we can. I want to reaccount the events that occurred starting yesterday at approximately 5:50 in the afternoon. We received a dispatch along with some auto and mutual aid partners for a possible commercial structure fire and explosions. We arrived on scene to find commercial buildings well involved with numerous explosions and several spot fires in the area spread out throughout the area. We had numerous agencies responding throughout the county, along with our mutual and auto aid partners such as CAL FIRE. And what we had done at that time is we created a perimeter and started to contain those spot fires from a safe distance for what we could. As the incident went on and we continued to do assessments and risk assessments for the incidents, we widened our exclusion zone for the safety of not only our responders but also the public. After that, we had reduced the incident down to the necessary pieces of equipment to safely mitigate or safely manage the area and mitigate the pieces of the incident that we could get to. And then fast forwarding into today's operational period, similarly, working to do a threat assessment of the area, a risk assessment, and as we've done that, we know that the risk is high in that area. There were, reports of large debris filled of large pieces of shrapnel spread out across a large area. So we maintained a wide perimeter, a wide berth around this area today into the day. And we kept our responders in a safe location, again, attempting to mitigate anything that we could mitigate from the area. And during this time included some threat assessments using things like drone footage from a distance where it was safe. After that, we're now, as far as my position as the incident commander here, my next priority is going to be working with the command team to start working on trying to reduce this exclusion zone so that we can start to get our constituents back into their houses and try to get what we can re-energized in the area when it's safe. Again, this is a very complex and ongoing investigation. It's a very complex and ongoing incident that is not completely terminated or mitigated. So we're going to keep the public and our responders' safety in the utmost regard throughout this incident. So, do you have anything to add to that? With that, I will take a few questions one at a time. One at a time, I'll call on you guys. Go ahead.
Have you identified all 7 of the people unaccounted for? Are they all workers at the facility?
I'm not going to comment on the 7 individuals that are unaccounted for. Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we will do our best to get you information as we can get it to you.
One follow-up. Are you communicating with their families? Because there are some folks here who say they don't know what's going on.
There has been communication with family, and I understand that it's not the communication that everybody would probably want to hear. But again, we are doing our best with the information that we have and the information that we can feasibly share. Okay.
Hi, Chief. When I checked on a former big fireworks show with the city of San Jose 2 years ago, the representative comes back as Craig Cutright from Devastating Pyrotechnics. He also comes back as a volunteer firefighter for the department. Is he the owner of the property?
I'm not going to comment on the owner of the property because again, ongoing investigation. I will give you the information because it is public that yes, Craig Cutright is an active volunteer firefighter for our department.
I have 2 questions. My first one, do you have any timeline on the people that are unaccounted for to know who they are or let their families know?
Again, this is a very complex and risky scenario right now, given what is going on over there. I don't have a definitive answer to that, but I can assure you that we're going to going to work as fast as we can in a timely manner. Again, keeping our safety and the public safety in importance.
Was anyone taken to the hospital, and are any rescue operations underway for the missing 7 people?
Right now, given the risk, there is still a pretty strong exclusion zone around the area. That is an ongoing investigation related to the 7 people. I will give you that there were two individuals that were injured in the event, in the initial event, that did receive care that are okay now.
Are they still in the hospital?
Unknown to me right now.
Also, someone was talking about there was a warning that went out before this, some type of fire warning. Do you know anything about that?
No, not aware of that.
You said that you're going to be letting people come back in. How many people were evacuated, and were there any people inside that house that was there?
I will comment on the time frame. I don't have a definitive time frame. We are just working, and when it's safe in time, we're going to work as a command staff to do it when we feel it's safe for the public. It is a priority of ours. We know it's hot. We know that there's livestock. We know people want to get into their house, but without power out there, they're not going to have water. They're not going to have AC. So we have to do it in the right steps and in the right manner.
And how many?
I don't have an exact estimate on how many people are displaced currently, but I know there's approximately 158 PG&E customers without power right now.
So how many years was that you guys told them that they wouldn't hear up until Saturday? Can you confirm that?
That information didn't come from me, and again, it's an ongoing investigation. I'm not going to comment any further.
Is there anything you can share at all about your investigation in terms of, is there a preliminary cause? Do you have any reason to believe that fireworks were not being stored properly?
Given that this is an ongoing investigation, we will inform you guys when we have the information and we're able to do so. I will add that CAL FIRE, Office of the State Fire Marshal, is going to be the lead investigator on this, given the severity of the incident.
Could the heat have played a role?
Mr. Cutright was one of those injured.
Well, what was that, ma'am?
Could you take us a little bit about the response yesterday? I know that you guys didn't go, right away to the fire. There was a wait until you guys got to the scene. Could you tell us a little bit about the response yesterday? Can't hear the question. Sorry.
The question was if I could give a little bit of details on the actual response from our units at the initial response. In the initial response, obviously, given the magnitude, if you guys haven't seen the videos, this was well visible from a surrounding area. We did send responders in, and they did become rather close to the incident. But again, as we started to assess the situation and understand the severity and the risks that were there, we did start to increase that exclusion zone and remove people back to a safe distance.
What kind of facility is this? Does this store fireworks year-round, or just because we're ahead of the 4th of July?
We know that the property is a pyrotechnics company that does do commercial display types of fireworks.
So year-round, they're stored there.
Again, what I gave you is what I've got.
Okay, and then why is it, or are you investigating this as a crime?
I'm not going to comment on the ongoing investigation. Again, the State Fire Marshal is taking the lead on the investigation.
Chief, what about inspections at the facility? Do you know the history of inspections and what they went through and the last time you inspected the place?
I don't have any records on me, obviously, when the last time they were inspected. I can say that we have done site visits at the location, and when we were aware that these facilities were there.
And they passed your safety inspection?
Again, I don't have that information on those inspections.
And the 2 people who were transported, what did they tell you that they saw, heard, or what happened?
Given that this is an ongoing investigation, I'm not going to go into those comments.
Just for clarification on that, those were not firefighters.
There were no firefighter injuries reported.
We've all seen the video. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I can say I have not seen anything like this. This is obviously an incident of great magnitude. This was, numerous people throughout this area, has seen this incident, and no, I have not experienced something like this. But I would like to add to that, our agency, being here in a local and a small community, we are primarily volunteer agencies, and I would be remiss if I didn't add that I'm really thankful and proud of all of our responders that stepped up yesterday and even today and came out here and went and faced something like that. So we appreciate all the responders and the mutual aid partners that came and assisted us with that.
I'm sorry, I missed it. You said the 2 injured were firefighters or were not?
No firefighter injuries reported.
And for the 7 people who are missing, are they
Given it's an ongoing investigation, I'm not going to comment on the 7 individuals that are unknown right now. Currently or initially? Okay. Initially, there was over 30 fire apparatus that had responded with, again, tens and tens of people that responded on those apparatus. And currently, we're down to a pretty reduced units of about 3 to 4 apparatus at any given time right now working the area, just to continue to monitor for our first responder safety and public safety.
Do you guys actually carry anything that could put out a fire like that in your department?
We are an all-risk department, and we obviously do our best to train for every type of incident, but an incident like this is like a once-in-a-career type of incident, and in the reality, there's nothing that we could have gotten close enough to. The risk is too high at a facility like this. But again, we do train and we do stay prepared as an all-risk agency.
What about federal agencies on scene, ATF, anything like that?
Given that it's an ongoing investigation and I'm not the lead investigator, I'm not going to comment on that.
Sorry, the 2 people hurt, did you say, were they employees or lived nearby, or are you sharing any?
I'm not going to share any further information on the 2 individuals. Did you want to add anything? I'm going to go ahead and let you add.
Just one last question. The fire
Yeah.
started at 5:20 something, and then you guys went inside like at 7, right?
Negative. Not having the information directly in front of me, I'm estimating the fire our dispatches were approximately 5:50 in the afternoon yesterday, and we had resources on scene within less than 2 minutes.
But in the fire work and the fire activity?
We were on scene and working the incident to the best of our abilities and safely within a minute.
So, again, we appreciate your patience as we work to verify all the information and get that out. And one thing that's important to remember here is, it's still an active incident that we haven't been able to get that seen. So a lot of these questions, we are still working to determine that information, then verify it, and make all the proper notifications. So you're going to have to continue to bear with us as we work through this process. This is going to be probably a lengthy investigation and response that's going to be ongoing here for a while. So at this time, we're going to end the conference now. Our goal here is to provide another update this evening for all of you on what's the latest. It's kind of a slow response here for that main fact that we can't get on site to determine everything that we need to. So we appreciate your.
What is going on right now? Are you just standing back and making sure everything's out? Are you sifting through anything?
Well, a lot of the process right now is we do have aerial reconnaissance going on, and that has been a big portion of the investigation at this time. But until it is safe to have first responders get at site, and we don't know when that's going to be. So that's where it's going to be. But again,
Fireworks are in that facility. Is the owner able to tell you how many explosives, how many fireworks that you're dealing with?
well, so yeah, this location is believed to be owned by an active pyrotechnic license holder. Part of our investigation will be to go through and determining the materials that were in there, and it was a facility within our license requirements. So we do believe it's a commercial firework. They had commercial fireworks for public display at that facility. So again, we're going to end it right here. We're going to work to provide another update this evening. If there is something specific that needs research that we can work to collect for you right now, once we're done, I'm going to hang around and I can take those notes down and work to get you all that information. So
This is just a quick
What about you finding the people?
You might want to get out to the public. You might just be concerned with seeing the videos, huge explosion, huge fire. Any message you might want to get out to the public, to the ballot.
So the greater, would you want to address that one, of the greater vicinity? So as far as a current threat to the greater Esparto area in this Yolo County, there's not a greater threat at this time. we are working on reducing that size of the threat zone, which is right now where that evacuation zone is in place. So residents of the greater area at this time are not under that threat. The ones that we're working to get them in, we're trying to determine that information through our investigation and through the whole process to see when we can start getting more folks in around the area. But for the greater vicinity, folks outside of the evacuation zone are not currently in danger.
This was just a quick follow-up on the license holder question that she had. You said that they were allowed to, under the license, operate, pyrotechnic shows, produce pyrotechnic shows. Were they allowed to sell those pyrotechnics outside as well?
No, I don't believe I said it that way. We said we believe, the facility has commercial fireworks for public display, and we're working. Part of the investigation will be working to determine everything under that and what met the license requirements.
Again, why is it a crime scene?
Well, it's a crime scene because this is a very major incident, and the Office of the State Fire Marshal is leading that investigation, and we have to preserve the area for both to be able to conduct that investigation, as well as the safety for everybody involved, both responders and the general public.
Officer Jason Clay. This type of investigation, how long would it
This
take?
investigation is going to be extended. We don't have a timetable on how this is going to take because we don't know how long until we can get on site and collect all the information.
Officer Jason Clay, so how is it that you guys are focusing on moving the people back into the area, but you guys aren't focusing on the people that are stuck in the warehouse, possibly dead, as well as us family members who are worried sick, and you guys are yet to give us any information or try finding any of them at all around the areas who escaped possibly whatsoever. You guys aren't focusing on the right things, and that's where the family steps in, and the family saying you guys aren't doing your job proper enough as to where we want the proper information as to what's going on with my boyfriend, as well as his child that's unborn, as well as her son, Johnny, and Jesus and Junior. 3 people that we've been focusing on. We were here since yesterday and have yet to receive any information, have yet to see any efforts, and have yet to see anybody go to try and find anybody at all who was stuck in the warehouse, who has tried to escape, who was possibly stuck under any of the debris of the warehouse.
Well, first of all, I'd like to issue apologies for the situation that we're all in here and wanting to collect that information. The reason we have not been on site to do that is because the danger presented,
Okay, but
an
you guys are
ongoing
supposed to
danger at the
protect us from
presented.
danger. You guys are supposed to deal with the danger, so why is it that you guys aren't dealing with it yet enough?
We
This is turning into a crime scene, and it seems like you guys are in on it, in a way.
Well, we are doing what we can from the site through
Obviously
aerial
not.
investigations. Once that is safe for us to get on site, then we could probably do a little bit more. And
You
we
just stated
are.
that you guys are more worried about the civilians and the materials and the people moving in and re-energizing the houses or whatever the situation may be, but you guys aren't worried about the possible dead bodies, the possible.
No, that's a big
people
concern
who
of
are-
us.
Okay, but
We
you
want
guys
to
aren't
get to the
concerned
bottom
about
of
it
this.
well enough. You guys are more concerned about the people moving back in that evacuated. You guys should be more worried about finding the people first and then worrying about the people who had evacuated.
That is
Those are
an.
people who are possibly lost their lives because of you guys not doing your job well enough, and because you guys not taking your job as serious as you guys supposedly do, and as you guys supposedly are first responders, and you guys were there 2 minutes after the situation. If it was 2 minutes after the situation, my boyfriend, my brother-in-law, and my other brother-in-law possibly would have been out. There was also a 17-year-old inside of that warehouse. Were you acknowledged as that? My boyfriend's 18. There was a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 23-year-old, and how old was he? And 28. And you guys aren't focused well enough on the people in there. When there's families sick to their stomach, losing sleep, being able to eat, drink water because of you guys not responding how one should. I have never seen policemen, firefighters slack their job and slack it so hard. And you can look away all you want, but this is the truth. We're all sick to our stomach, and we're all waiting on the information that we should receive until Saturday, when I want to know today. I want to know by tomorrow.
As do we. We want to know that information right away.
But you guys aren't trying well enough.
We are working through the process to get there so we can determine that all, inform our family members of the 7 individuals. So it's a painful period. We completely understand that. Don't take that we are not doing everything we can to get to the site to confirm, get information about the 7 individuals we were missing. So I'm completely sympathetic with the
before the people who have evacuated had moved in. I feel like you
Well,
should have
they-
brought that situation up first. The 7 unaccounted for, the people who were stuck in the warehouse. That should have been the first piece of information that you have released. Not about the people who have evacuated. The people who evacuated are safe. The people who evacuated are okay. The people in there are possibly dead, have no life, and guess what? Their families have yet to know any information. I feel like that's the first piece of information that you should. That's the first piece of information that you guys should release. That's the first thing that you guys should be focusing on, besides the other people. That's like the second priority, the third priority. The first priority is the people.
Okay,
They're probably struggling, stuck under
We should
debris.
go on to the next part as we continue.
What is, based on what this young woman said, what is the basis for determining when it's safe to go in? What are the criteria that you're going to be using
Address
to
that
say you can actually go in and look for the family members here and the boyfriend?
It's tough to give a definitive answer on when that is going to be and what that actually looks like. And I just want to say I really understand your frustration, and I'm sorry that we can't give you all of the information you want. I really mean that. We don't want to have to stand up here and not give you the information that you want. And I just wanted to give you that because I felt you deserved that. To get back to that question, though, again, we don't have a definitive answer. We are going to work together with our partners in the lead agency that's doing the investigation on this to determine when the site is safe to get that close to the incident. And with that, I appreciate you guys all coming and being patient with us, and we will advise when we do another one of these updates. So thank you guys.
Are you worried about the winds picking up today?